Bad. That's the boy. Some of the people I'm discussing certain things about. What? I don't know why I just did that. See, it's been doing that. I gotta stop having raggedy stuff. And let me take this music off. I don't know how much that was playing over my voice. But yeah, man. Uh I want to talk about a few things. I normally go an hour on these. So I'll probably do the same thing just to keep some kind of consistency going. You know. Let me see. So this is what we're talking about today. Comprehension. Like I said, I'm pretty sure some people gonna chime in, especially on Facebook, because I want to clarify some things, you know what I'm saying, at the same time, just have a more in your face direct response, because stuff gets lost in translation online all the time. And it's because we don't comprehend, we misinterpret stuff sometimes. It happens all the time. I know a lot of y'all probably been texting people before, messaging people before, and they take something you said the complete wrong way, and you trying to let them know, like, nah, that's not what I meant. Or it could be vice versa. They trying to let you know, I ain't mean that like that. And because it's so many different ways to take something when you're reading it, or even just miss vital points, words, what I call keywords, bullet points, and the operative word. That's what it is. The word that makes everything be what you're actually saying it is. So then I had another post where I said, man, the women in my family be gaslighting me, man. Because I had a particular post, and it gained a lot of traction because I was told I've been called Kanye, and I've been told that I have like I'm always ruffling at the feathers and like disturbing the peace and trying to be I don't be trying to be problematic. Like I really don't. Like I'm really, really cool, bro. But I call out craziness sometimes, and it blows my mind how people defend a lot of stuff. They really will. They will defend a lot of stuff, and it don't be nothing good. So, but in this case, it wasn't any of that. This was just me. I saw a post, something in relations to being a stepfather, and Facebook always asks you like, "What's on your mind?" So I just make a post. I've always said, even when I was younger, that I wouldn't want to be a step parent. Like I think initially everybody is going for the traditional, you know, husband, wife, children dynamic. You know what I'm saying? Like anything outside of that is just happenstance. It's just that house crumbling and you trying to make some shelter out of the rubble that's left. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's just be real. Let's call a spade a spade. It's an audible life set. It's something that you didn't plan for, but things go a different way and you make the best out of it. And that's fine. Like I know all about that in my lifetime. I know all about that. You know what I'm saying? Some people's whole lives is that nothing but audibles. It's like nothing ever goes the way you intend on it going. But that being said, I had a status where I said, and listen to exactly what I'm saying. I said, I would rather die single than to be a step parent. Woo, boy, that really ruffled some feathers. People was going cray because of that statement right there. And I, honest to God, was like having the hardest time understanding why until one of my cousins and my sister, uh, and it's still up now, so y'all can see what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? But like they were trying to explain to me like, here's why what you said is problematic. But when I noticed when they said it back to me, they left out like the main word that made the whole thing of what I was saying. Because if you add or subtract that word, it completely changes the statement. I would rather die single than to be a step parent. they interpreted it as I would rather die than to be a step parent, which, like I said, is two completely, vastly, completely different things being said. One is implying that's like that being a step parent or helping somebody else raise their children is so bad that I would rather die. Like, just, you know what? If these are my two options, hey, you want to be a stepdad? Nah, man, I'm gonna go ahead and just like, it's not that serious. That's not what I said, because obviously I can see how that is insulting, even though it's still really not, because it's just that person's preference. Like, we will sit up here and entertain people's preferences for so many other things and then get mad about other things. And I just never understand that. If somebody was to say, I identify as a pineapple, you're gonna just be like, hey, how's the citrus squeezing today? Like, you know what I'm saying? We all gonna sit up here and entertain that. But if somebody says, I would rather not do this than that, then it's just like, well, what you trying to say? And all this other stuff. And I just never understood that. Like, stuff that's actually normal. I think that's a pretty normal preference to have, whether or not you are ready or want to be dating somebody with children. And I know they always say, like, I've had a lot of girls tell me in the past, you know, well, I would never try to put that on you. That's not your responsibility. It's just me and you. And I'm like, all of this sounds nice. I think I'm like lagging or something. But anyway, I'm gonna just keep going because I already had enough issues with this damn thing. Let me see something. The window looked trippy. But yeah, I'm like, it sounds nice, but realistically, it's like I date for the long term. So it's like at some point I would have to take that responsibility. It's not like, oh yeah, I'm gonna just enjoy all the perks of being you, and then stuff come around regarding your kids, and I'm like, oh no, I didn't. Hey, that's not me. That's not even no manly shit to do. Like, but basically, the original post. Let me start with that because I can kind of tend to be all over the place. The original post of what I was responding to was basically saying, uh, that the mother of the children should never be begging the dad for anything. You know what I'm saying? That it's now the stepfather's responsibility. If he's taking that responsibility, if he wants to be with that woman, he has to take 100% of that responsibility. It's not, she should never be begging to do the real father for no money, no nothing, no this, no that. You know what I'm saying? Maybe they could set up times for visitation, but he is not obligated to do anything anymore, because the stepfather said, well, shit, you might as well consider me a friend. If you still depending on another man for stuff, then you might as well just consider me a friend, because that's my job. And I feel that's very admirable. That's very admirable. And I actually feel the same way. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's why I said I wouldn't want to do it, because uh my thing in life is like, before I get into something, I like to know if it's something that I am like prepared to do or would want to do for the rest of my life. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people just kind of go with the whim, on a lot of stuff, and it's just like, that's not the way that you have to do it. I say all the time, like, we have way more control of our actions. People was telling me in that post, well, you never know what's gonna happen. I was like, you're right. I don't know everything, but I know this is something that's completely within my control, because I control my penis. So it's like I have 100% control over whether I have kids or not. I have 100% control whether I become a stepfather, because it would depend on me making that conscious decision to be in that position. You know what I'm saying? Like, people act like stuff just happens upon you and you're like, oh, like we're just like video game characters being controlled by something. Like, you have all the control of your life and your situation, all of it. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, yeah, for certain things I would never say never. Like, for example, I used to always be like, man, I'll never get arrested, man, because I mean, I was very naive when I was much younger. I didn't understand why black people hated the police so much. I used to be like, why? All you gotta do is just not do wrong and you don't have nothing to worry about. Naive as hell. not realizing like there's going to be situations and stuff where you get profiled, where you get kind of, stereotyped and things like that, and you can end up in a lot of bad situations with the police having done nothing wrong as a black person. Like, it's happened to me firsthand. Like, it's a real thing. I was just telling one of my coworkers that. So you can never really say, you can't say I'm never gonna get arrested, because you don't never know. You might just be walking down the street, mistaken identity, boom. You know what I'm saying? It might be something you could fight later. But in terms of like you being a step parent or you having children, that is 100% up entirely up to you. That's not something that can just happen upon your life. You know what I'm saying? Like, that is something that you have to make a conscious decision to say, you know what? Hold on a second. Do 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 do. But anyways, yeah, that is something that you have to make a conscious decision to say, um, either either whether you chose to do it on purpose or it just kind of. I do understand what they mean by things happen, but like it's only going to happen if you allow it to happen. Basically, like Immaculate Conception was only like a one time situation with the Virgin Mary. You know what I'm saying? Like, in this day and age, and people are not gonna believe, oh, I just had a baby. Like, my life is, I'm not in control of my life. Like, no, girl, you was popping some shit for somebody. You know what I'm saying? And that's what happened. I mean, or it could have been something more unfortunate, like, rape. But I digress. I'm just saying, like, for the most part, you have control over what happens in your life. And I would just rather not have that situation, because it's not. I don't feel like anybody would ever just captivate me so much to where it's like I want to do that with you. You know what I'm saying? Because even like, no matter how much I like this person, the world is big. It's a big population. I could run into somebody that's pretty much just you in every way, and that also just doesn't have kids right now. You know what I'm saying? But I do realize I'm getting older, so the window for that is getting smaller and smaller and stuff like that. I am well aware of that. However, as long as I have control over it, I'm not gonna do it. So, anyways, that's where the original part of the post started from. You know what I'm saying? Basically saying him being as a stepdad, he don't want uh his wife, fiance, anybody dependent on nobody else, because he is in that role now. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, that's commendable. One of my cousins said, well, you come from a blended family. I said, I do. So I didn't want it to get it twisted. Like, it's a very commendable thing to do. And salute to all of those who can. That's just not what I want for myself. Like, the world still needs those people, because I don't think no child should like grow up having to be without one of their parents, or just not have the proper guidance and upbringing like they should, just because it's not like, I'm not saying like, oh, you a single mom or dad, like, yeah, you got the plague, like, no, but nobody else with you. It's something I don't want. You know what I'm saying? But it's just like with jobs. Every job is important. Somebody has to do it. But it's very normal for somebody to sit there and say, well, I don't want to, like, somebody might be working in at NASA or something with a dope ass high paying job. They don't have to be a trash man to appreciate what the trash man's job is. You know what I'm saying? You can't look down on that profession just because it's something that you wouldn't want to do, because at the end of the day, you want your trash taken out regularly. So basically, that's all I was saying, is kudos to those step parents. It's just not something I would want to do. You know what I'm saying? That was the whole. So I just wanted to clarify that. That was the whole main point of what I said. I think it was just the operative word, single, being taken out, that caused confusion and made people perceive it the way that they wanted to perceive it. Now, with that being said, yeah, because I mean, like I said, I spoke to a few different people about it, and they was like, trying to tell me like why it was worded wrong, and I was like, no, it's definitely not worded wrong. It's just people's comprehension. Like you didn't read it correctly. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, one statement is basically saying, "Oh, I'd rather die than to be a step parent." Where the other is saying, "I would rather stay alone for the rest of my life." If those was my only two options, it just came down to it, and it was like, "All right, B, you either gotta raise these kids with this woman, or you could just rock solo." I'm a rock solo. That's all I was basically saying. Because I, unlike a lot of people, I don't have no problem being alone. I love singleness, solitude. You know what I'm saying? I enjoy it. I love it. I got me a baby right now, though. You know what I'm saying? But if I didn't, I would still be just as happy. But I know that's not the case for a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? They very codependent. Very codependent. Uh which I understand. I'm not talking down on codependency either. You know what I'm saying? Because we all would function a lot better with people in our corner, whether it be friends, family, relationship. You know what I'm saying? Like, which I have those too. Supportive friends and family. If I didn't have a relationship, you know what I'm saying? But the overall point was just I was really irritated at how people was coming for me for having a preference. You know what I'm saying? And then to find out that they was really just upset about something that wasn't even what I was saying in the first place. They misunderstood, and while me trying to explain to them that they misunderstood, they getting more and more upset. You know what I'm saying? So that's basically all I was talking about on the first part. It's just when you read things, when you listen to people in conversation, make sure you're actually listening, because a lot of stuff blows out of proportion because it's taken out of context. You know what I'm saying? Even you see that all the time, like with people that have like media stuff going on. Like I heard one time Charlemagne was, or it was Joe Budden or something, was saying something with some homophobic like undertones to it. And like they took that one little part out, took out all the rest of the context of what was really being discussed at the time, and then just put that, repackaged it, put it back out to try to slander them and stuff. And I'm just like, that's really annoying. That's really annoying. Like if you don't understand, like, when somebody might say something, right? And then somebody be like, well, what you meant by that? Usually by the time the person asks that question, they already mad because they already have an idea of what you meant by that. But the most important thing is to hold off your anger until you actually get the explanation. Now, if they say what they meant by that, and it's exactly what you thought, and you're offended, then you could take your anger from there, from that point, go forth. But try to stay calm during the "what did you mean by that" part. You know what I'm saying? Because I kind of feel like that's what happened. I said it. Nobody even asked me what I meant by that. Everybody just interpreted it their own way and started either saying, right on, I definitely understand what you're saying, or, well, this is rude, this is gig. And I'm just like, bro, I thought about it so many times. I'm like, what did I say? I guess if I would have said I would rather live single or stay single than to be a step parent, it probably would not have seemed as bad. That's what I was told. But that word is irrelevant. You know what I'm saying? Like, to say that you want to live single for the rest of your life and die single is literally the same statement. You're saying the same exact thing, but they took the die part and made it seem like I was preferring death over being a step parent. So, anyways, I just wanted to clear that up and go on a little spiel about comprehension, because I think like the world would be a better place. We would have so much less more confrontation if we actually take the time to listen and fully comprehend what's being said to us, instead of just taking a little bit and getting triggered immediately. You know what I'm saying? So anyways, then on to my next topic. I wonder if I could send this to him real quick, man. or if he's even available, because this one is definitely directed at somebody specific. He might not even be available. See, and this is my fault for this is my fault for always doing these so impromptu. So again, these are called rap, which rap stands for rhythm and poetry. I had a couple acronyms too that I was going to use for it because I wanted, like I said, I wanted it to be a live, open forum. I'll be trying to get people to chime in, you know, join the video. Excuse me. Leave comments. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want feedback, even if it's like after the fact that I uploaded it. Like, that's fine too. I just want some type of, but I'm still learning. Either way, I'm gonna just keep doing these, just enjoying it, you know. But the topic was rap legends, because it was a post saying, okay, this person's a legend, this person's not a legend, this person's a legend. And it's a big conversation in rap that you hear all the time. Because at its core, it is opinionated, it is subjective to everybody's preference or whatever. But I feel like if we take the time to actually break down things by definition and by categories, there will be a lot less hearsay. You know what I'm saying? Hold on. I'm gonna come right back. Booyakasha. But yeah, if you take the time to break stuff down a certain type of way, then you get more definitive definitions of what things are. So what I'm gonna do is look up the definition of legend, because, like, in my personal opinion, from my homeboy that posted that had the post, he was saying, "Oh well, you know, I agreed with the post for the most part," but he was saying like, "Oh well, this person's a legend too, and that person's a legend." And I'm just like, I feel like people using this term a little too loosely, like way too loose. All right. So first, let's start with the definition of what legend is. A traditional story, sometimes properly regarded as historical, but unauthenticated. More similar to a myth, a saga, epic. We're talking about a person, an extremely famous or notorious person, especially in a particular field. Okay. So by that definition, it doesn't even specify whether they have to be good at anything. It just says that they're famous and notorious, which I feel like that definition is kind of vague. But to me, and I feel like most people would agree, it would definitely entail being good at something. You know what I'm saying? Um, so there are times when I sit down and I come up with certain categories. So, but basically, this was the whole argument. King Von, I think that's the dude name, and Lil Bow Wow was in the post. And from the person that posted it, they said that these people are not legends. And I agree. For two different reasons, they're not legends. They were calling people like Nas, Eminem, Jay-Z, Biggie, Tupac, you know what I'm saying? Even like Scarface, stuff like that. You know, if you want to get down to the Southern artists. The first thing I noticed is these people all have longevity. So I'm gonna start with that. These are all people who've been rapping for a long time. And for me, for my definition of legend, when you think about it, they say, oh, legend once told of the, you know what I'm saying? It's somebody whose name is like gonna be remembered forever in time because of their notoriety and their level of fame and accomplishments over a long period of time. So that was my only reason why I said King Von couldn't be a legend. It's like you didn't have that much of a catalog. You know what I'm saying? Like that's a title that you earn. You could be an icon. I feel like an icon is similar to a legend, but just in the sense of like it's somebody that's popping right now. You know what I'm saying? But not somebody who's reached legendary status because you got to put in a certain amount of work, in my opinion, to become a legend. I don't know who agrees with that or whatever. But I'm sure if I looked up more definitions of legend or more people's interpretation of what legend is, like you can't just be, and this was the example I used on the post. I was like, okay, LeBron, I'm not even like a big sports dude, you know what I'm saying? But LeBron, Kobe, Jordan, legends. These dudes all came in at a young age, changed the game forever, like was going crazy their whole career up until the end. Therefore, they reached legendary status. If they was only like hot for like a year or two and then like fell off, you're not a legend. You know what I'm saying? Or if they was hot for a year or two and they died or something, they could have been an icon, a current icon, but they're not gonna that to me. They're not gonna be in a legendary status because they haven't put that much work in. So it's easy to call people like Jay-Z, Nas, Scarface, all these people legends because they have catalogs going way back to the 90s, you know what I'm saying? And got platinum hits and Grammys and all that shit all the way up to 2022. That is legendary. That's legend shit, bro. Like you can't call somebody that just came out a couple years ago a legend already. Like they haven't earned that. And RIP to them that passed away and all that. I'm not trying to talk down on them. You know what I'm saying? I know they have their following and they probably was a very like a really icon. I like the word icon, an iconic figure like Triple X. When he first came out, I was like, this dude weird, you know what I'm saying? But then after I listened to a couple of his songs, I was like, okay, I can kind of see the appeal. He kind of dope in this way and that way or whatever. But you can't call him a legend. The dude was out for like 3 years. Like, what's the criteria, bro? Like, that's what I'm saying. So to me, longevity is one. Then the next person. So again, sorry to the King Von fans, but that's just my opinion. I don't think that short of a tenure in the game qualifies legendary status. You know what I'm saying? Kanye is a legend. He might be a lot of other crazy things that people don't like, but the dude been holding it down. Drake will be considered a legend. You know what I'm saying? I would say at least, I'm gonna write it down. You gotta at least get a decade in of a high level of success. A solid 10 years in the game before you can get legendary success. And all these people that we have talked about either have done it or their music lasted long enough. You know what I'm saying? Because like Biggie and Pac didn't get those long of runs, but their music was timeless enough to where, and their personalities were timeless enough to where they, became like eternal icons, aka legends. King Von, like, I mean, I hate to say it, he came in the game at a time where like so many people coming in and so many people dying. It's like you really was just another one of them. You know what I'm saying? Like, regardless of the fact that how hard he might have went for that short period of time, it's like he couldn't get as much shine and notoriety and stuff as like a Biggie or Tupac would at the time because hip hop was at a different stage back then, but it's very oversaturated now. So the bar has been set higher. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I feel like at least a solid 5 to 10 years but more so 10, in my opinion, is the longevity. So yeah, King Von. The next person was Bow Wow. I said Bow Wow is not a legend either, because where he actually had the time put in. Bow Wow been rapping since he was like 12 or so. Like he was a little ass kid. Bow Wow put the time in, but Bow Wow was performing at a much lower level. You know what I'm saying? That's why I said it's two people. You can't go hard and fizzle out too soon, but you also can't just kind of be plateauing your whole career. Just kind of just, you know what I'm saying? Bow Wow shit was like a flat line. He started off, I ain't gonna lie, like a little 13-year-old Bow Wow went hard. All the girls liked him. I was like, this little nigga got some flow. I don't know how many people was writing for him or whatever, but Bow Wow was actually a hard little kid rapper. Once Bow Wow got older, Bow Wow was irrelevant as far as music goes. He had a couple of hits in his early 20s, maybe mid 20s or whatever. You know, when I'm with somebody, all I think about is you. When I'm all alone, that's all I wanna do. Sending smiley faces on my sidekick. Out of town visits all the time. We even get them, make it all. And then that was the thing too. He always relied on, he was one of those that relied on a lot of features and a lot of production, just like pretty much the majority of the people now. You know what I'm saying, to cover up the fact that he just ain't really that dope. I'm not saying that he's that terrible, because there's so many worse people now. You're like so many worse people now that a lot of y'all love, which I don't understand. But at the same time, Bow Wow was just like a B plus player. What's that dude? The one they called Bus Life. If anybody remember, tell me his name, because I know it, but I can't think about it right now. But it's that one basketball player they call Bus Life, because the dude been around forever, but has been trash his whole career. You know what I'm saying? You could be a legendary fucking, what's the word I want to use? A legendary C plus player, and maybe in that field, in that category, but you can't really be like a legend. You know what I'm saying? Because you put in the time, but not enough accolades, not enough accomplishments, not enough quality music. You know what I'm saying? Compared to King Von, who may have had the accolades and the quality music, but it was too short. It was too short. So basically, they get mad at me talking about, oh, well, it's just a matter of opinion. You could be. He started bringing up how like you could be a legend in your own hood, in your own neighborhood, in your own town, and all this. And I was like, you can never really say, you can't say I'm never gonna get arrested, because you don't never know. And I was like, see, I'm not getting the comments on here, but I see I have a comment on Facebook. I see Kenzie says, agree. I think the younger generation doesn't know what a legend consists of. They are the okay, Kenzie, what you know about that rap? The ones calling young rappers as exactly. I'm just like, bro, it takes more than that to be a legend. It takes more than like y'all throwing these terms around too loosely, man. It's like it don't even mean nothing anymore. So I started becoming a smart ass on the status and saying, well, I guess this roach I just stepped on is a legend. I guess the turd I left in the toilet is a legend, since anybody can just say anything about anybody, and it's just so because. So I was like, so at this point, how do we determine anything that's factual from opinion? You know what I'm saying? Because there has to be a criteria for you calling yourself. I can't walk in a room and be like, I'm a doctor. And then they'd be like, okay, well, where'd you go to school? What's your certifications? What are your qualifications? You know what I'm saying? That people will have questions as to why you feel like you deserve to call yourself Dr. Croy. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, I don't have none of that. I'm a doctor. Where's that patient? Let me slice him open and do some work. And then I have a group of people behind me. Oh, hey guys, ain't I a doctor? And it's like 50 people, and they're like, yeah, he's a doctor. Why not? So therefore, I'm a doctor because I believe it, and a small group of people also co-sign it. So therefore it is what it is. I'm like, no, that's not how shit works. You have to meet the criteria. You know what I'm saying? As a doctor, you would have to show that you have a degree. You would have to show that you have practical skills. You would have to show your resume. Like, this is how everything works. But for some reason, for hip hop, shit just be just because you feel that way. And I don't fuck with that at all, bro. I care too much about hip hop, bro. I mean, in my opinion, hip hop really is dead for the most part, like Nas said years ago, because this is all like trap and shit now, and blah drill now and all that. Which it is, I mean, it's cool. It is what it is. It's just like people just using them terms too loosely. That's why I said you have to. There needs to be some type of criteria that qualifies you as being something. So I said longevity. Also, like I said, accolades. You know what I'm saying? Like the numbers. Wale said it in a song best when he was like, he said the same thing. The main thing I love about football is there's no speculation. There's stats, nigga. Like, but in honesty, music has stats too. You know what I'm saying? You got YouTube views, you got album sales, you got Billboard positions on the charts. You got like you can go based all off all that. Um, you know what I'm saying? But it gets so deep. Like that part in itself gets so deep. You know what I'm saying? Because man. But anyways, his point was that oh, you could be a legend in your own hood, in your own neighborhood or whatever. And I'm just like, yeah, you definitely can, but I'm talking about on a global scale. You know what I'm saying? I could consider myself a local music legend because I'm pretty much known by everybody that does music locally, or I've worked with them, or I've like it's like 1 degree of separation between me and them. But it's like, what good does that do for me? Like that's not a real legend. It's almost like you still kind of playing pretend. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about on a global scale. Michael Jackson, legendary. People of any age, in any country, of any race, of any gender. I say any instead of both or either gender, but you know what I'm saying? Knows who that is, knows at least a couple of his songs, knows that he's the pop icon, king of pop, blah, 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 blah. You know what I'm saying? You mean to tell me you're going to put that person on the same scale as King Von or Bow Wow? Like, come on. One put way more work in. One is way more known, way more talented. Chris Brown will probably be more of a modern day Michael Jackson with a legendary status. You know what I'm saying? So that's just my opinion. They haven't is the longevity and the accolades. Like, what do you have to show as far as like qualifies you to say that you are a legend? You know, so but that's the thing though. That's why I say people just too loose with terms nowadays, man. It's just like anybody could just say anything, and then they try to say, "Oh, it's a matter of opinion." It's like, nah, it's not. I made a post not too long ago where I was just like, man, I wish we would just go back to having the using the dictionary definitions of everything. It's like now we live in a time now where people making up new definitions to stuff, and then the rest of us have to try to figure out what the fuck you talking about. And it's like if we just keep things with some type of sense of order, it will be a lot more smoother. It would make a lot more sense to everybody. But this is a time now where there's no order to nothing. Everything is just whatever you want it to be. And that's annoying as shit. That's annoying. You know, like I said, he said everything is it's basically a matter of opinion. I've been eating this croissant, right? If somebody come and say, "Oh, that's a hot dog," and then I'm like, "No, but it's a croissant," they'll be like, "No, well, I beg to differ. Man, that's your opinion." And I'm just like, "What do you mean? It is what it is. Like, what are you talking about?" Mm. But yeah, That's basically all I want to talk about. Um, I see I actually got a comment this time, like I said, from Kenzie. But yeah, I didn't even realize that you was into rap that much like that. But definitely, because you have so many people who are not lasting. All the people that we grew up with, they may not still be current or active or relevant, but they not locked up for the rest of their life. Most of them anyway. They didn't already pass away, and I'm not talking down on anybody for passing away. It's just the stuff is so. It's just the violence in the game, man. That's why the drill music is being targeted right now. It's out of control. Back then we had Biggie and Pac, like that was like a special situation. And I'm not gonna lie, that's part of what catapulted them. They were the biggest two rappers at the time, you know what I'm saying? But it's part of what catapulted them into legendary status was dying early. You know, one of my best friend, she says she says she feel the same way about Aaliyah. She said she don't think Aaliyah would have been what she was unless she died. And I was like, I ain't gonna really get into that one because I actually really like Aaliyah. You know what I'm saying? But it's not like she died like really, really that soon in her career. She had a good little run, enough to make like a pretty good impact. You know what I'm saying? Because it's all about the quality of the music too. I'm not gonna call nobody a legend that ain't been talking nothing but bullshit their whole career. You know what I'm saying? So it's got to be the quality of the music. That's the last category: longevity, accolades, and quality. You know what I'm saying? Like, are you making timeless music? Or are you going in there making a bunch of fast food, jiffy pop crap? Like, you know what I'm saying? You just getting in there, 2 minute long songs, one minute and 30-second long songs, random drill beat, random trap beat, auto tune. It's just like that's so repetitive at this point. That's so like that's too easy. You know what I'm saying? That's too easy to get credit for, to get that much credit for. You should be lucky enough that you even made it into fame doing that. Let alone be like, oh, I'm a legend in this shit. It's just like, how many times do you switch up the flow? How many times do you switch up the content? You know what I'm saying? How many times, how long have you been consistently going hard? You know what I'm saying? Uh yeah, that's the main thing. It's like, damn, got a lot of gas. But yeah, that's pretty much it. When I was talking about legends, I just feel like, and I wish more people would have chimed in because I kind of want to go for a while with this conversation, you know, because I definitely feel like I'm trying to respond to this. Big facts, man. The biggest of all facts. The biggest. Oh, yeah, man. But that's pretty much all I was talking about. The first topic was comprehension. Like, make sure that you understanding is so little. It's so rare nowadays. Like, like people don't even try to understand what you're saying. They don't understand themselves. They don't understand how to try to understand you or themselves. It's just like it's crazy. It's a lot of miscommunication. So just make sure if somebody's saying something, like I said before, I'm just kind of recapping, and you say, "What did you mean by that?" That you listen to what they meant by that, because it might not be what you meant. Like, stop being so quick to anger. You know what I'm saying? Like, especially black folks is bad about that. Black men, black women. Lord have mercy. I just be like, you don't even understand like what I'm actually saying. And then again, even if it's something that you don't like, Just be like, okay, whatever. To each his own. You know what I'm saying? We gotta learn to articulate. Another thing I kind of wanted to touch base on a little bit was us as adults being able to be in control of your emotions is a powerful thing, and it's a responsible thing. Kids react to where it's just like, you know, they feel offended, they feel hurt, and they just want to have an emotional reaction. I know a lot of y'all, a lot of us, were not taught how to do that, but it's so important. It's such a level of like, man, growth and clarity and maturity. You know what I'm saying? To just not. That's what it was. It was the movie A Thin Line Between Love and Hate with Martin and I forgot that lady name, but she was like trying to kill him. And this girl I know I went to school with, she posted about it, and she was like, "That's what his ass get." And I was like, I never known her to be like a violent, aggressive person. So I was just like, since when you start condoning murder? Like, she's like, well, he had it coming and he know what he was doing and da 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 da, and he got what he deserved. And I'm just like, it's never crossed my mind to want to kill any like a woman. Yeah, I've had some thoughts with dudes, I'm not gonna lie. But I keep that in check. It's never like, my whole point is just there's so much time to walk away, to think, to pray on it, to, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's what adults, that's the whole beauty of being an adult and having that cognitive thought to make like responsible decisions. You know what I'm saying? Like, kids react. You know what I'm saying? You hit them like, ah, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna just, what you hit me for? Like, I don't understand. Like, we can talk, we can use our words. And I've been hurt. I never been hurt to the point where I'm just like, oh, I'm about to like shoot this person to burn their house down. And it's never that serious. Like, you messing up your time here on this earthly realm and whatever is after this life as well. You messing it up because you going straight from jail to hell. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's just like, all because your feelings was hurt. How stupid does that sound? My feelings hurt. So you ruin your whole life because your feelings hurt. It's different if somebody physically, you know what I'm saying, touch you. Because that is mostly retaliation. I know I just said I would be like, oh, what you hit me for? But nah, I'm going to swing back. I might ask during or after, like, what you hit me for? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so that's different. But just based off your feelings being hurt, like, adults need to keep that shit in control. I feel like all of us. And she said, well, you can't I just said you can't tell nobody else how to respond, you know, to being hurt or whatever. I'm just like, no, I can't. Nobody can. I understand that, but it's like, you should still have self-control. I just feel like that's something that's slept on in society. Like, we don't control ourselves for nothing. Quick to fuck, quick to fight, quick to get messed up, like with no thought process behind anything. And then when the consequences come, want to be like, oh, woe is me, woe is me. And it's like, I don't be having no sympathy for nobody. You know what I'm saying? Just going back to the whole kid thing. You out there smashing raw, you have a kid you wasn't expecting to have, and now you got to either raise this child or pay for an abortion or whatever. That's your fault. You knew what was up. You knew what the risk that was. And that's just, I know it sounds like an asshole, but that's my opinion on everything. Football, dude get hit. Oh, he got a concussion. It's like, you knew what the risk was. Nobody made you be a football player. That's the choice that you made, and that was the consequence that came with the choice that you made. Again, we have control over our actions. So I just think we need to just be more responsible in that light when it comes to stuff. You know what I'm saying? I saw another video where a girl, I guess she had killed a dude, and she straight up was like, she's like, I deserve to be here. Like, you know, I understand what I did was wrong, and I'm not asking for anybody's sympathy, and I'm ready to spend the rest of my life in jail, and I'll do it again because it just is what it is. And I was like, I respect that. You know what I'm saying? She was fully aware of what the consequence was. She chose to do it anyway. suffered the consequences, and is still fine with her decision. She said she would do it again. I just can't stand for people to be like, well, now you want to, you know what I'm saying? Or like a soldier going to war. You enlisted. You made the conscious decision to enlist. You go out there, you get your leg blown off. Now you want to be like, I fought for this country and look at like nigga. No, you chose that. You knew that there was a very good chance that would happen from the decision that you made. So suck that shit up and just be like, well, I don't have a leg because I fought for this country. Don't be all on you expecting somebody to have to kiss your ass for that. Like, I don't know. That's just my opinion. I know it might be an unpopular opinion, but I'm just like, I'm a firm believer in nobody can make you do nothing in this world. Nobody can make, you might not want to deal with the consequences, but you still didn't have to do it. If somebody put a gun to your head and say, do this or I'm going to shoot you. They did say or, so that means that there was an alternative. Now, you know what I'm saying? You could also try to call an audible on the play and do some type of, you know what I'm saying? Some type of move where you disarm them. But that's pretty much your options. It's either do what they say, don't do what they say and get shot, or try to come up with your own third option. That's it. But at the end of the day, if you chose to do what they said, nobody made you do that. You chose to do that based off of the situation that they put you in. But still, nobody makes anybody do anything. And I stand by that. If you really take the time to think about it, nobody makes you do anything. Nobody can make you do anything. But again, I'm going to go ahead and close this one out. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to leave y'all with just think more, man. I think a lot. I think I observe, I process. I'm not trying to say I'm better or smarter than anybody. I'm still flawed. I'm still learning. I'm still trying to be the best me that I could be. It's just, I see people every day making poor decisions and then wanting to blame the rest of the world and wanting the rest of the world to feel bad for them and their decisions. Shouldn't do that. Shouldn't do that. And the next thing is, like I said, comprehend what's being said to you. Comprehend fully what you're saying to people. Love one another, man, just in general. Stop calling people legends. Stop calling people anything that they don't qualify as. You know what I'm saying? I seen a dude online call this girl, oh my God, you're a goddess. Granted, she was bad, you know what I'm saying? But this girl was up here doing voodoo shit and witchcraft and stuff all over her page and stuff. And I was like, this is a witch, not a goddess. Don't put that on her. I literally said that on the status, and that girl was like, she laughed. She said, "LOL," because she identifies as a witch. So like, she was like, "You're right." She told me like, "You're right." I was like, "Exactly." But niggas, they want to call you anything because you look good physically. Oh, you a queen? No, not if she out here acting like a thought. Call a spade a spade. She a thought. She just is an attractive succubus thought. You know what I'm saying? But stop gassing people up, man. More people need to call a spade. A spade is what I'm saying. I just thought about that little tangent because of the legend talk. I'm like, stop calling people legends. Stop calling these girls gods. Stop calling these dudes kings. That's not, if you're not presenting yourself as such, that's not what you are. Period. You know what I'm saying? It's not a matter of, oh, this is my opinion, that's my opinion. No, it's just conduct yourself as something. That's why these words exist. You call a girl a hoe and they'll be, oh, that's a broad term, and or a man, a deadbeat, or him a hoe, or something along the lines of that. And they want to try to immediately go into a defensive mode instead of thinking like, am I really exhibiting fuckboy or fuckgirl tendencies? Especially if it's not the first time somebody said something, take a second to think about it before automatically getting offended. You know what I'm saying? Take a second to think about it. Think. It's one of the whole major points of this. Think. Anyways, coming up on the hour mark, getting ready to go to the House of Blues a little bit with my band. We there, man. So it's been a real one. I'm gonna try to be more consistent. I say that all the time, but I'm gonna pick more topics and stuff and just come by. I want y'all to pray for our troops, though. I know I said all that shit about the troops, but again, it's another one of those situations where somebody got to do it, and then I'm saluting and commending them and hoping, wishing and praying for the best. You know what I'm saying? Just like with the step parents out there, salute to you. Those are just two things I personally would not do. Call me a coward, call me whatever you want to call me. That's just not what I see in the cards for myself. That's not what, that's not what I want. As long as I still have a choice, it's not what I want. Now, if I just happen to get drafted to war some kind of way or happen to, I don't know, magically become a stepdad through no choice of my own, then it is what it is. I'm going to do what I got to do. You know what I'm saying? But again, man, I'm going to put the banner back up. Yiddy. Not that one. House of Blues tonight. We in that thing. Cheers.